Welcome you all for direct taxation class. In today's session, we will discuss about computation of taxable income and tax liability of individuals. Right. So here, what do you mean by computation of taxable income and tax liability of individuals? So here, first we need to understand the theoretical background of this. So here, individual, in the sense a person. So what are the sources of income an individual can earn is the 5 heads of income. So which are those 5 heads of income? Salary income, income from house property, income from capital gain, income from other sources, profit and gains of business and profession. Right? So in these 5 sources, an individual can earn the income. Right? Combination of all these 5 heads of income can become a taxable income. Means what is the amount of income he has earned? So based on the provisions of income tax, so it will be assessed. Right? So while computing that, we say that computation of taxable income of an individual. For example, if I am getting all the 5 heads of income, right? So at that point of time, I will be assessed based on each individual heads separately. Salary I will be assessed separately, capital gain it will be assessed separately, house property it will be assessed separately, profit and gains it will be assessed separately, as well as other sources it will be assessed separately. Right. So like this, differently it will be assessed. Afterwards, combining together, it becomes the total taxable income of an individual. On that total taxable individual, so you need to pay the tax as an individual. So while computing your taxable income of an individual, so what are the things you need to take into consideration? Clear? So where nature of income is there, as well as what will be the tax treatment with respect to that. First thing is income earned by the taxpayer, means as an individual what he is earning. So at that point of time, he will be getting, or the exception will be there while treating the taxes. So what are those? One is income exempted under section 10 subsection 13a, that will not be included. Right? So it will not be included. Next thing is income to be included in the income of others by virtue of section 60 to 64, that will be taken into consideration. Means as an individual, it might be your other person income might be added to your income. So that will be coming under 60 to 64. Right. So that is the tax treatment what we make. Right. Next thing is share of profit of an individual, that is Hindu undivided family, share of profit from HUF. It is exempt under section 10 subsection 2. Next thing is share of profit from a firm assessed as a firm. It is exempt under section 10 subsection 2a. Next thing is salary and interest from aforesaid firm. That is, these are taxable as business income. Next thing is share of profit from an association of person or body of individuals. In this case, if association of person or body of individuals, it is taxable at the maximum marginal rate or at a higher rate than their share of profit, is not taxable in the hands of recipient. Means what is the amount of share of profit you are receiving, that will not be taxable. Maximum of that, it will be taxable at a marginal rate. Clear? Next thing is income earned by others and included in the income of a taxpayer by virtue of section 60 and 64, as I said in the beginning. So where such income shall be included in the income of the taxpayer, and based on that, these things we will be computing the taxable income of an individual. Clear? And next thing is, here while computing that, one special provision is there with respect to the persons governed by Portuguese civil law. Here, section 5A is applicable with respect to the appropriation of the income between the spouse governed by the Portuguese civil law, which is even today which is followed in the state of Goa as well as union territories of Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. So here, by virtue of section 5, income from all the sources except from salary should be apportioned equally between the husband and wife. Then it should be included in the total income separately in the husband's income as well as in the wife's income, and based on that we have to apply the provisions of the act and we need to calculate. Where salary income is however taxable as an individual's, either in the husband case or either in the wife case. So this is one special provision what we need to remember, right? Next thing is, so while computing the taxable income, these are the points we need to remember. So next thing is how to compute the taxable income. So how to compute the taxable income? Here they have described or they have said as it should be followed with 4 steps. So which are those 4 steps? One thing is, first step is income under different heads of income should be assessed first. Means all the 5 heads of income need to be assessed in the first step as per their separate provisions. Salary will be assessed separately, income from other sources will be assessed separately, house property will be assessed separately. With respect to that respective heads, it will be assessed. So first step is income under different heads of income are separately assessed, right? That is the first step. Next thing is adjustment of losses of the current year and the earlier year as per the provision of 70 to 80, section 70 to 80, that has to be adjusted from the gross total income. Clear? Third step, deduction from the gross total income need to be given. So here the deductions available with respect to 80C to 80U, those deduction need to be given. Clear? Afterwards, step 4, where the amount which should be rounded off to the nearest value of 10. It is known as net income or total income or taxable income. These are the 4 steps what we need to follow while computing the taxable income. Clear? Once taxable income is computed, you need to calculate the tax liability, right? So based on the net income what you arrive in the computation of your total taxable income, so based on that, as per the specified rates from the income tax authority, it should be chargeable or it is chargeable to tax. Tax liability need to be calculated. In case if there is any agricultural income included in the individual's income, means that due consideration should be given to arrive at the non-agricultural income, means which is agricultural income, which is not agricultural income, we should arrive at that, and based on that whatever the provision that is available with respect to agricultural income, that need to be given. Afterwards we need to arrive at the tax based on that. So how do we arrive at the tax? So how do we calculate the tax liability? So here first and foremost thing is the slab rates we need to remember. So which are the slab rates we come across? For senior citizen, separate slab rate is there. For super senior citizen, separate slab rate is there. For others, slab rates are there. So these slab rates will be applicable while we calculate the tax liability of the individuals, right? So here first thing is tax on net income. So based on that specific slab rates, we will be applying the tax rate. So out of that, what is the amount they get? So that tax on net income will be given a deduction under section 87A, that is rebate. Rebate will be given under section 87A, where in case if the net income of an individual is not exceeding 5 lakh. So at that point of time, 100% of tax or 12,500, whichever is less will be the rebate that will be given for the individual. Afterwards, balance will be there, you will be adding surcharge. Next, you will be moving on to adding up health and education cess. So once all these are computed, it will be said as total tax. Afterwards, you need to give tax rebate or the relief under section 86, 89, 90, 90A and 91. So under these sections, you need to give the rebate. Afterwards, you need to add back the interest payable under section 234A, 234B, 234C, right? So you will arrive at a total. Afterwards, you need to deduct or you need to less. So prepaid tax, tax deduction at source, tax collected at source, advance tax. These four components need to be deducted. Afterwards, whatever you arrive at, that will be said as tax payable or tax payable at the time of submission of return of income, right? So this is how we will calculate the tax liability, right? So we need to compute, first thing is taxable income, next thing is tax liability as per the provisions, right? Hope you are clear with this brief theoretical aspects of how to compute taxable income and tax liability of the individuals. So one more thing here is, so whatever the thing you have studied in the previous chapters, means different heads of income what you have studied, all those will be applicable only under one problem, this, right? So you should be aware about all the heads of incomes, what are the deductions that will be given, what are the exemptions that will be given, how it will be calculated, all those things you should know. Okay, so for your better understanding of how to compute the taxable income as well as the tax liability of an individual, we will go with a problem. Clear? I'll just read out the problem first. Shrikant, age 30 years, is a salaried employee in Bombay. He gets the following emoluments from his employer during the previous year ending March 31st, 2020. Basic salary rupees 4,80,000, bonus rupees 1,30,000, commission fixed 1,48,000, house rent allowance 1,20,000, employer's contribution towards recognized provident fund 62,400. During the previous year 2019-20, the employer has provided a laptop for using it for official and private purpose. Ownership is not transferred. Further, the employer provides club facility for official use. He owns a house property which is used by him for his own residence. Municipal valuation of house property is rupees 1,30,000, whereas the standard rent under the Rent Control Act is rupees 1,20,000. He makes the following expenditure in respect of house property: municipal taxes rupees 13,000, repairs rupees 11,000, interest on borrowed capital to pay, interest on capital borrowed to pay municipal tax rupees 3,150 and insurance rupees 1,600. Besides, he has received rupees 1,69,000 as interest from the deposits in the savings bank account. He has received different gifts from A, rupees 25,000 on October 1, 2019 and from B, rupees 26,000 on March 1, 2020. During the previous year 2019-20, he makes the following expenditure and investments: contribution towards recognized provident fund rupees 1,40,000, payment of insurance premium on own life policy, sum assured is rupees 60,000, that is sum assured in the year 2006 is rupees 60,000, right, where premium is rupees 14,000. Donation to National Defence Fund rupees 3,200. Determine the net income and tax liability of Srikanth for the assessment year 2020-21. Right. So here they are asking us to compute the net income. So net income is nothing but the total taxable income, right. So taxable income and tax liability of Srikanth for the assessment year 2020-21. So in this, which are the information they have given us, right. So with respect to salary head they have given, with respect to house property they have given, with respect to income from other sources they have given us, right. So keeping these things as a base, first and foremost thing is we need to assess them individually so that it will be easier for us to compute the taxable income. Understanding? So first and foremost thing, we will go with calculation of salary part, means how to compute the salary, that we will go with based on the information what they have provided us, right. So what are the information they have provided us here with respect to salary? First thing is we need to understand. First and foremost thing is we need to compute, right. So the taxable income as per the salary, right. First I will go with the calculation of salary part. So let the heading be the same thing. So first thing is with respect to salary we will calculate. So salary, with respect to salary part we will calculate. So what are the information they have given us here? So with respect to salary they have given us basic salary. Basic salary they have given. So how much it is? Basic salary they have given us 4,80,000. $4,80,000. Clear? Afterwards, bonus they have given us. So bonus, that is 1,30,000. Right? So next thing is commission they have given. So what is the amount of commission they have given? 1,48,000. $1,48,000. Next thing is house rent allowance is there. House rent allowance. So here 1,20,000 is the house rent allowance what he has received, right. So 1,20,000 is the house rent allowance he has received. Here you need to recall now the salary problems what we did, how we used to calculate house rent allowance. So first thing is which area it is located, that we need to go with. In case of metropolitan cities, Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta, Mumbai, it is 50%. So other places it is 40%. So in this case it is in Bombay, right. So place it is located in Bombay. Clear? So we need to calculate the exemption amount. So what will be the house rent allowance that will be exempted? So I will go with here less exempt. So here first thing is you need to know what is salary. So what do you mean by salary here? In this case, whenever you are calculating your house rent allowance, only the basic salary will be taken into consideration. This will be taken into consideration, basic salary. So here first thing is what? 50% of salary we need to consider here. 50% of salary means 4,80,000. On this you need to calculate 50%. So you will get 2,40,000. So this is 50%. Next thing is what is the actual HRA received? B. Actual received. How much? 1,20,000 they have received. Actual HRA 1,20,000 they have received. Next thing is what? Being excess of rent paid over 10% of salary. Being excess of rent paid over 10% of salary. Right? You need to calculate here. Right? So being excess of rent of means being excess of rent paid over 10% of salary means here what? So what is the amount of this thing they have paid, rent they have paid, that we need to calculate here. Right? So house rent allowance they have received 1,20,000. Right? So in this case 10% of salary. So here being excess of rent paid in the sense here he has not paid any rent. Right? So nil. Rent is nil. Minus 10% of salary, that will also become nil. So this is nil. Means here in the problem what they have said here is with respect to HRA it is 1,20,000. Right? So but here there is nothing has been recovered from him. It is been provided. Right? So here it is, these are the three conditions, which is 50% of salary, how much? 2,40,000. Actual rent received 1,20,000. Being excess of rent paid over 10% of salary is nil. So whichever is exempted means out of this whichever is least will be exempted. So this is least, this is less, so it is nil. So directly this amount is chargeable to tax. Hope you are understanding this, right? So it is directly chargeable to tax. Afterwards, so out of this, in case if here you would have got 10,000 or 15,000, anything like that. So at that point of time, we would have deducted that 15,000 and gave remaining amount as taxable. Clear? Next thing is, next component is employer contribution towards recognized provident fund. So what is the amount of contribution employer has made, that we need to calculate here. Employer's contribution towards recognized provident fund excess of 12%. So here we need to calculate what is the excess of 12% here. So what is the amount he has contributed? He has contributed 62,400. 62,400 he has contributed. Means employer has contributed with respect to Srikanth. Afterwards, we need to calculate 10% on basic salary, that is 4,80,000. So what is 10% on this? Means, sorry, 12%. We need to calculate 12% on this. So what is 12%? We need to calculate here. If you calculate on 4,80,000, 12% will be 57,600. 57,600. Clear? So after this, remaining amount, that is taxable, that is 4,800. If you deduct this, you will be getting 4,800. So these are the components we are having, and perquisites was given. Laptop was provided, it is again used for official use. Again club facility was given, it was used for official use, right? So official means it is for office purpose duties, so it will not be taken as an income here. Clear? So these are the incomes with respect to salary what Srikanth has received. So you need to sum up this. So if you sum up this, you will be getting 8,82,800. 8,82,800. Clear? After this, so Now we are solving salary problem. While computing the computation of taxable income means first step is all the 5 heads we need to do. Afterwards we need to calculate the tax liability of individual. So here till here we have arrived at. So what is this called? This is called as gross salary. It is called as gross salary, right? Afterwards you need to give deduction. So what is the standard deduction available with respect to salary is 50,000, right? So less standard deduction, that is 50,000, means out of this amount I will reduce 50,000. So remaining amount is what? 8,32,800. Clear? Right? Understanding? So this is the income from salary. So you used to calculate this as a separate head of income and separate chapter you have studied this, right? So it is income from salary. Clear? Understanding? So what we did here, so whatever the information which are available, right? So with respect to salary head, we have calculated, right? So and we have arrived at the income, so where it is 8,32,800. Understanding? Next component here, they have provided us the information with respect to income from house property, right? So here, as the income from house property is used for own purpose, right? Own purpose, nothing is chargeable or we need not compute anything here, right? So in case if it was used for other purpose other than residence, so at that point of time we would have calculated here. Understanding? So as it is used for own purpose, nothing is taxable here. So now with respect to salary head we have calculated, so that is 8,32,000. This amount we need to retain while computing taxable income. Clear? So like this separately you can calculate. Again income from other sources also you can calculate separately here, right? So what I will do now, we have calculated with respect to salary income, remember that 8,32,000. So as I said, information available with respect to house property, nothing is chargeable to tax because it is used for own purpose. So next one more component is there, that is income from other sources, that we will assess directly while we are calculating the taxable income or total taxable income. Clear? Hope you are clear with this, right? So now what we are going with computation of taxable income and tax liability of individuals I have written here. So here with respect to Shrikant's tax liability we are calculating, right? First and foremost thing is what we need to do here is we need to go with the 5 heads of income. So here with respect to salary information is available, with respect to house property information is available, with respect to other sources information is available. So based on that we will compute. Clear? First thing is income from salary. I will write it as working note 1. so that it will be easier for us to understand. So already we have calculated that, you take it as working note. Clear? So what is the income we got here? With respect to income from salary, he had got 8,32,800. 8,32,800. Next is income from house property is there. Income from house property. So here I said it is nil. Why it is nil? Because it is purely used for own purpose. So nothing is taxable. For one individual, one house as a residence is exempt. Exemption will be given. So it is not taxable. Clear? Next thing is income from other sources. Income from other sources, which are the components we have, we will go with it, right? First thing is bank interest they have given. Bank interest on the deposit in savings account. So what is the amount he has deposited here? Bank interest. Bank interest he has received for depositing in the savings account, right? I'll write it here, on deposit in savings bank account. So what is the amount he has deposited here? 1,69,000 he has deposited, right? 1,69,000 he has deposited. Clear? Next is gift is there. So he has received a gift on 1 October 2019, right? As well as on March 1, 2020 he has received a gift. Clear? So one is 23,000, another one is 26,000, right? If you sum up, right? One more thing. One is 25,000, another one is 26,000. Clear? So if you sum up, it will be 51,000. So where here, as per the provision, they say that anything exceeding 50,000, if you are receiving any gifts, it is chargeable to tax, right? So here, gift received. So what is the amount of gift he has received? One time he received 25,000, another time he received 26,000. So if you sum up, it is 51,000. So what they are saying, it is exceeding 50,000, hence it is taxable. So 51,000 is taxable, exceeds 50,000, hence taxable. Hence taxable. Why it is taxable? Because it has exceeded 50,000, hence it is taxable. So do we have any other components here in the problem? No. So this is what the information that is available for us. Now we need to sum up this. Clear? So if you sum up, you will be getting 10,52,800. 10,52,800. So what is this called as? Gross total income. This is called as gross total income. Clear? So after arriving at gross total income, so what are the other things you need to give here? So you need to give the deduction under section 80C to 80U. Clear? Out of this, less deductions under section 80C to 80U. So which are the deductions that are available under this 80C to 80U? Means you might have studied in your permissible deduction under section 80C to 80U, which are the things which I have come across. So here we have one deduction, that is with respect to 80C. Under section 80C, we have two components. One is employer has contributed towards recognized provident fund as well as insurance premium, right? So what is the amount he has contributed to recognized provident fund and insurance premium here means? So he has contributed here with respect to provident fund 1,40,000 he has contributed. Another thing is with respect to insurance premium he has contributed 14,000. Clear? So where it is, if you sum up, it is 1,54,000. But under section 80C, maximum aggregate amount exempted will be 1,50,000 only. So here we will give him 1,50,000. 1,50,000. Here it is, one is 1,40,000 plus 14,000. So, but it cannot exceed 1,50,000. So, we have given 1,50,000. Right. Next thing is donation, that is under section 80G. Under section 80G. 80G donation. Right. So, for whom the donation has been given here? National Defence Fund. So, where 100% of it is exempt from tax. 100% of it is exempt from tax. So, what is the amount they have contributed here is 3,200. 3,200 they have contributed. Clear? Next one is under section 80TTA. This is with respect to interest on deposit of savings bank account. Right? Under section 80TTA. This is deposit. So, where did they deposit? In the savings bank account. Deposit in SB account. So, that is how much? 10,000. So, next thing is we need to check whether we have any other things. So, only these are the, one is 80C, 80G, 80TTA. These are the deduction that is available under section 80C to 80U with respect to Srikanth. So, now we need to give these deductions and remaining amount will be said as your net income. So, what is the remaining income? This will be said as net income. So, out of 10,52,800, you deduct 1,50,000, 3,200 and 10,000. So, remaining amount you will be getting 8,89,600. 8,89,600. Clear? So, this is first part of your problem, computation of taxable income. So, we have arrived with respect to Srikanth. What is his taxable income? So, Srikanth need to pay the tax on 8,89,600. So, where he had received the income from salary, income from other sources. For him, income from house property has been given as an exemption because it is used for own purpose. Clear? So, now we need to calculate the tax liability, that is other part of it. So, how do you calculate tax liability here? So, here only we will calculate. So, how do you calculate the tax liability here? Hope you remember the salary problems, how we have calculated the tax liability. Same pattern will be applied here with respect to individual also. So, we need to see the slab rate. So, whether he is a senior citizen? No. Whether he is a super senior citizen? No. He will be falling under the category of others. So, where up to 2,50,000 nil, that slab will be applicable here. Right. So, we will go with calculation of tax liability. So, this is the second part of your computation of taxable income and tax liability of individual, what we are doing. So, in this case, this is the amount what he has received, right. So, here up to 2,50,000. So, it is nil. So, I will write it here itself, better, nil. He need not pay any tax. Next thing, so now I will repeat it again. Tax liability calculation is the second part. Clear? Tax liability is the second part. So, here up to 2,50,000 it is nil. Next is 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, it will be chargeable at 5%. So, difference of this is 2,50,000. So, 2,50,000 into 5% you need to calculate. So, you will be getting 12,500. You will be getting 12,500. Clear? Afterwards, 5 lakh to 10 lakh is a slab, but his income is 8,89,600. That we need to consider. 8,89,600. So, what is the difference between this? It is 3,89,600 is the difference. 3,89,600 into 20% you need to calculate. Understanding? 20% you need to calculate. So, you will get 77,920. 77,920. Afterwards, sum up. You need to sum it up. Clear? So, if you sum up, you will be getting 90,420. Next thing is we need to check whether surcharge is applicable here. So, is surcharge applicable here? No, surcharge is not applicable. So, for this you need to add surcharge. Surcharge is not applicable. I will just go here itself. Right. Next thing is whatever the amount that will be coming, that will be set as tax and surcharge. Clear? So, same amount will be considered tax and surcharge. This will be set as tax and surcharge. Afterwards, you need to add health and education cess. Add health and education cess at 4% on this. Clear? 4% on this value. You will be getting 3,617. 3,617. Now, you need to add it up. Right? You need to add these two. So, if you add up, what is the amount you will be getting here? 94,037 rupees you will be getting. So, if you add this, you will be getting, I will write it here, 94,037 you will get. Clear? If you add this, you will be getting 94,037. Afterwards, as what are the steps we have come across? Step 1, we calculated differently over. Afterwards, we did not have any losses here. So, we did not adjust anything here. We did not have any losses. Afterwards, we gave deduction under section 80C to 80F deductions which were available, that we gave. Next thing is we arrived at a net income. Afterwards, we have calculated the tax liability. Next, we need to go with step 4, that is we need to round it off to the nearest value. So nearest value means what? 40. So 94,040 is the tax payable by Mr. Srikanth. Is it clear? So here, is it simple? Computation of taxable income and tax liability of individuals. So here, what we did, first thing is, step by step, you calculate different heads of incomes. Afterwards, you sum it up in a format. Clear? First thing, income from salary we calculated, we got 8,33,800. Clear? Afterwards, income from house property, it is nil as it is used for own purpose. Next thing is, we had information related to income from other sources, where bank interest on deposit of SB account 1,69,000, and again gift which was exceeding 50,000, and we arrived at the gross total income. Gross total income, that is 10,52,800. Afterwards, we gave deduction under section 80C to 80U. In this 80C, maximum deduction what you can give as aggregate is 1,50,000. In this case, it is exceeding. Contribution for recognized provident fund as well as insurance premium what he has paid, it has exceeded 1,50,000. So up to 1,50,000 we have given the deduction here. Clear? Afterwards, it is 80G, donation. So it is, as they have given it for National Defence Fund, 100% is the exemption given or the deduction given here. So 3,200 we have given as a deduction. Next thing is, as per under section 80 TTA, deposit in savings bank account up to 10,000 exemption will be given. So 10,000 exemption is given. Clear? So we arrived at net income, that is 8,89,600. Afterwards, we calculated the tax liability here. Clear? So tax liability, it is up to 2,50,000 nil, 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, it is 5%, difference is 2.5 into 5%, you arrive at 12,500. Next thing is 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 20%, but in this case his income is up to 8,89,600. So we will see the difference. Difference is 3,89,600. So into 20%. So you will get 77,920. If you add up, you will be getting 90,420. So for which we need to add surcharge. In this case, surcharge is not applicable. So we arrive at the same total. So we say that as tax and surcharge. Afterwards, we need to add health and education cess at 4%, right? So that is on this value. So it is 3,617. So if you sum up, you will be getting 94,037. Clear? Afterwards, it should be rounded off. This is a rounded off value nearest to 10, that is 94,040. This is the tax what Srikanth will be paying. So that is said as computation of taxable income and tax liability of individual. Clear? Hope you have understood this with respect to the theoretical concept as well as how the computation of taxable income will be done as well as tax liability will be calculated with respect to an individual. Clear? Thank you.